Ready? Good morning, everybody. Thank you to everybody for joining us. I'm Jano Lieber, Acting Chair and CEO of the MTA. We're here with a lot of important partners. Long Island Railroad President Phil Eng, Chief Accessibility Officer Quamel Arroyo. I'm also glad to welcome our State Senator, Anna Kaplan, who has been with us literally every step of the way on this project. Thank you. Assemblymember Ra, did I see Assemblymember Ra? Okay, well, we'll acknowledge him when he arrives. Councilwoman Viviana Russell, who's been so much part of this project as well. And my partners in labor, always, General Chair of SMART, Anthony Simon, and Nick Peluso of the TCU. That partnership with labor is so important to us, and they are really among the leaders of our workforce and our labor community. And not to be forgotten, the Carl Place Civic Association, who's been great partners with this whole project, but especially in designing and executing this station. Ursula Babino, Tina Imrie, John Heslin, thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. And super important is the artist who did this, the great glasswork and design here, Gail Boyajian. Thank you for being here. She's joined by Sandra Bloodworth, who does all of the MTA arts and design work. Sandra, again, thank you for everything you do. And I'm not going to identify them individually, but behind us are some of the people who actually build this project. And I just want to say to both the workforce of the Long Island Railroad, represented by those labor leaders I acknowledged before, but also by the third track contractors group. We've got them as well. So thank you for all the folks who've worked so hard on this project. So long introduction, but here we are. We're marking a major milestone in the third track project. It's the first station reconstruction, and we're doing it here at Carl Place. The 1837 Carl Place station was historic, but it was almost as old as the Long Island Railroad itself. And while there had been a partial refurbishment in 1990, it's been long overdue for a major modern rebuilding, and that's what you got here today. A station that's worthy of 21st century Long Island Railroad commuters. It has all the amenities our customers are looking for so they can be productive, engaged, and connected as they enjoy a safe, comfortable ride wherever they're going. And it's fully compliant with ADA. That is one of our goals. The Long Island Railroad is pretty close to being fully ADA compliant. We have a few more stations. This is one that's going to be 100% ADA compliant. Major accomplishment to finish the job. On time and on budget. The Long Island Railroad Expansion Project, also known as Third Track, is on time and on budget. Can't say that about too many $2.5 billion mega projects. On time and on budget. Despite the challenges brought on by COVID. Everywhere else, delay, and we understand it because COVID created some real challenges. But no, on this project, on time and on budget. So I want to, again, thank our team at MTA Construction Development, Anthony Tefano, Jason Daybach, and from the Third Track team, I mentioned before, Alan Paskoff and Javier Barobia. This is a project that models exactly what we're trying to do at the MTA, delivering projects faster, better, cheaper, and that's what's going on here. Once completed, this project literally checks every box. It increases Long Island Railroad capacity, reduces congestion, facilitates true reverse commuting, so Long Island businesses can attract workers from a much broader talent pool. It protects the environment, it enhances the quality of life for Long Island Rail residents along the main line. The MTA Capital Program has a ton of investment in Long Island. We cannot forget East Side Access. The governor went and rode the inaugural train last weekend. The governor again announced Penn Station rehab, and that's already underway right now. And here we are at the $2.5 billion third track doing all those amazing things for Long Island. We're going to keep going with investment in mass transit and especially in Long Island. That means improving service first and foremost, but also coming up with some short-term incentives to invite our riders back. We're revising our fare structure to create new tickets that work for the reality of post-COVID commuting, which may mean a different pass than a monthly pass. It's a ton of thinking about how do we incentivize people to come back to mass transit. Every step of the way, we're going to keep working with our partners in state and local government. We thank all of you for your support. And at this moment, I want to turn over to Phil Eng. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, Jano. It's with great pride that we can be here today to celebrate the new Long Island Railroad Carl Place Station. And this continues to demonstrate the teamwork between the Long Island Railroad workforce and the design-build team of 3TC as we continue to deliver and fulfill our commitments on this project for the community and for our riders. Keeping this project on schedule, as Jano mentioned, as we run nearly 200 trains a day through this work zone, is a testament to everyone's contributions. And I know Jano mentioned them, but Anthony Tufano, the project executive, Jason Daybach, who handles a lot of the station works across the railroad, from 3TC, Alan and Javier, all been instrumental in leading this great team. Jano also mentioned all of the other distinguished guests here today, and I have to thank them for all their leadership, for their partnership, so we could all be standing here today as we appreciate the hard work and dedication of the workforce as we deliver, as Jano mentioned, a fully compliant ADA station. Chris Greif and Ann Menino, part of our Long Island Railroad ADA task force, instrumental in helping us make sure, working with Q, that we are indeed making all of our services available for all. Something that at this station we're very proud of as well is the new Long Island Railroad accessibility feature at the help point, where if someone is at the station needing help, they could hit that feature, the beacon will turn on, and trains approaching will know that there is someone waiting on the platform for them. John Heslin from Carl Place Civic Association. It's worth repeating. The civics have been very involved from the very beginning and instrumental, helping us ensure that this project can serve both the railroad and the community. With the input of the civics, this is a beautiful station that serves this very walkable community here and will be able to something they could take pride in for years to come. New platforms, new canopies, improved lighting, new shelter sheds, signage with real-time information both on arrival times but also capacity of the trains, benches, ADA ramps, elevators, covered overpass, CCTV security cameras throughout, bike racks, free Wi-Fi, charging stations, many amenities to list, and a new roundabout as we stand here for passengers being picked up and dropped off. Mentioned the artwork. Sandra Bloodworth is here from MTA, and Gail Boyajian, right? It's called the Aviary. It recognizes Long Island's place in aviation history. The glass panels that you see in the station here depict various machines and creatures of the sky as a tribute to the many islands' contributions to flight and birds are native to the area. And if you look closely, you'll see a frog in the artwork that is very symbolic of Carl Place. All the modern amenities that the residents of Carl Place deserve. We are committed to being an integral part of the community that will join us and that we serve directly. And for our riders, this new 12-car platform is instrumental as we look to ensure that we are not only providing safe train trips, but continue to deliver reliable train trips with continued and improved on-time performance. So I look forward to seeing everyone out there on the trains, in our stations. It is a great day for Long Island Railroad, a great day for Carl Place, and a great day for Long Island. I'd like to turn it over to Q Carmelo Royal, MTA's Chief Accessibility Officer.
Thank you, Phil. It truly is a pleasure to be here today celebrating the first station opening of the third track project. These renovations at Carl Place will be great help to riders with mobility disabilities, wheelchair users like myself, parents with children in strollers, and so many others who have a hard time navigating our network. I am particularly excited about this new overpass, which now has elevators and is fully accessible to all riders. But we know accessibility is about a lot more than just elevators. I'm proud to see new ramps and accessible points of entry and exit, including in this reconstruction, as well as new help points, benches, shelters, and free public Wi-Fi. Expanding access to the railroads is a top-tier priority for the MTA. We have the willpower and have allocated the resources, as evidenced by the commitments included in the historic 2020-2024 capital plan. New York State needs accessible public transportation to power its recovery and carry millions back to work, school, cultural centers, and entertainment. New Yorkers and visitors with disabilities and so many others that need and benefit from these accessibility enhancements must be included in that revival. Thank you all for joining, and I look forward to seeing you riding our trains. Now back to Jano. Senator.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I want to thank Jano Lieber and Phil Ang, and really everyone, Carl Place Community and Civic Association, and everyone standing behind us for making this project possible, a project that I'm so proud to take part in. This is one of many projects that we have seen that have been on time, on budget, and it's really sending a very strong message. We want everyone in Long Island to feel comfortable and have a great commuter experience. Thank you for our partners here for making this possible and making these infrastructure investments in our community. And I'm so glad to be here today for this really wonderful event.
Good morning. I'm Councilwoman Viviana Russell, and I represent this great community of Carl Place. And I can tell you that this has been a process for the community. And so before I thank anyone else, I want to thank the community of Carl Place for their patience throughout this process. This Carl Place train station, as mentioned, has undergone a tremendous amount of renovation, and we are so grateful that this station looks the way that it does now. We have a station here in Carl Place that we can be very, very proud of. I thank the community, I thank the Civic, but I also thank the workers that are here every day. I thank Phil Ang, I thank Jano Lieber, and the entire team that is here on the ground, ensuring that the residents here in Carl Place have an experience that they can be proud of at the end of the day. They've been able to work with the residents throughout all of the issues and concerns during the process, and we're very proud to be able to open this station and have this in Carl Place, one of the first in all of this project here, right here in the town of North Hempstead in Carl Place. So thank you to the residents, thank you to the boots on the ground, thank you to all of the workers here, and thank you to management.
So we're happy to take some questions from our friends in the press who have joined us today.
Michael, you got something? Michael? You got a question? You're good? Stacy? Can we just get a microphone to you, Stacy, please? Yeah.
So ridership has increased quite a bit, and we're getting back at least, above 50%, I'm told, as to where we used to be in 2019. So if you and Mr. Ang could answer, where do we stand right now with trains per day, and what is the likelihood that that's going to increase? Like, what do you want to tell riders who say they're getting on these trains and, they're crowded, or they feel more crowded than they feel comfortable with?
Well, I know we're all going through the process of getting back to the experience of being in groups again, but to give everybody reassurance, we're running 85% of the pre-COVID trains, but for 55% of the ridership. So we think that the situation is pretty good. Phil can talk in a moment about specific innovations that allow people to make sure they find the space, the most spacious part of the train, that can get on the least crowded car, and so on and so on. That's all available. But let's not forget, what we really want Long Island Railroad riders to know is this has been an incredible week.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Check.
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Well, what we really want Long Island riders to focus on, to be aware of, is this has been an incredible week in the history of the Long Island Railroad. On Sunday, I rode with Governor Hochul the first train from Jamaica Station into the new East Side Access Terminal. A couple days ago, the governor announced a plan for completely redoing Penn Station so that Long Islanders can have a first-class train terminal like Grand Central, which they don't have. And now today we're celebrating the first new station on the third track project, which has been a $2.5 billion investment in Long Island. Huge week for Long Island Railroad. Phil?
Sure. Well, as you can see, as we're trying to have a press conference, the number of trains that we are running, it is a very robust number of trains. It's 638 trains a day. As John mentioned, that's 85% of our pre-pandemic numbers. But what's important is that we're monitoring ridership every day. We're monitoring ridership train by train in real time. And over 95% of our trains are carrying less than 60% of the ridership. So we have capacity. What John referenced is the technology that we've taken advantage of. We have the ability, and it's in the palm of our customers' hands with the new Long Island Rail Train Time app. They can pick their trains based on ridership. They can pick their trains based car by car and see which cars have more people and where they can better find a seat if that's what makes them more comfortable. They could also plan their trips because they could see historically how crowded a train has been over the last week and where people get on and where people get off. The other thing, if you listen to the announcements are set up now with that same information. If you're waiting on a platform and you're not looking at your phone, if there's more room at the front or more room in the back of a train, or it'll tell you that as well. So that is very invaluable information. That, for us, we're using that as well because as we monitor ridership, we're making sure that we're adjusting where necessary. There are some additional trains coming on in very shortly, and you know, we're going to continue to adapt to ridership as we've been doing throughout the pandemic.
Just one follow-up question. There's people obviously that work normal business hours, so there's only so much they can do about controlling what train. Is it really possible to take the mass out of mass transit, given the pandemic? Isn't there only so much you can do in the framework?
I'll try that. So look, you know, we're all getting comfortable again working in groups. You can't take the mass out of mass transit. The great thing is, though, that as we're getting back to it, with 85% of the trains running and only 55% of the ridership, and the ability to actually look on your phone and figure out which is the least crowded car, you can get away from, you know, you can get, right now you can get yourself some space if that's what you want. But let's also remember, we had a COVID pandemic, not an amnesia pandemic. Getting commuters to sit in the middle seat was a problem long before COVID. We're all getting used to each other again. I think it's going pretty well.
Other questions, anybody? Thank you.
Okay, we're going to cut a ribbon now.
Yeah, we've got a ribbon cutting.
Cut a ribbon.
Ribbon.
Cut a ribbon. Everyone has to go look at that stained glass, okay? All right?
We're going to do a ribbon cutting. Amanda knows where it's going to be. Where's it going to be?
Amanda's always knows where it's going to be.
And we're going to have a giant...
Ready? 1, 2, on 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go.